Hello, welcome everyone, I am Madals and welcome to Day 3 of Dignitas week. I am, well, today following Dignitas, BlinG, the red Protoss player in the top right. He's going to be playing up against Blackcidy, who is of course the blue Zerg player in the lower left position. And, well, for anyone who's just stumbled upon Dignitas week and is thinking, hey, what's going on here? Let me tell you. This week I am following a player from Dignitas each day of the week, casting a couple of their games, seeing how awesome they are, and combining it with an interview done by Definitive Esports, which I'll link to in the channel below, so you get to know the players, the team, and their personalities, just so you can fall completely in love with them. And of course, this is game 3 from BlinG. It is the penultimate game, and it is an epically long macro game against the Zerg player. And of course, this is BlinG's least favourite matchup. He really doesn't like playing against Zerg, and he loves playing against Terran. He loves playing against Protoss, I think, or he's impartial to that, but Zerg, no. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. Even like the little period, good luck, have fun, full stop, really just says everything you need to about this matchup. But of course, BlinG, absolutely great guy, really done solidly, as I've told you in Game 1 and 2. So do make sure you check that out, because if you haven't watched Game 1 and 2, you've missed out some exciting intro about how he joined Dignitas, his results, and generally just a bit about him. But obviously, for those of you who don't know BlinG, you can definitely have a look up on his Wikipedia page. It says an awful lot about him. You can get to know him. He's got a cool picture of him as well. Of course, posing in his skinny jeans with his awesome hair, because that's pretty much what BlinG does. He has awesome hair and really tight skinny jeans. But they seem to get tighter at every time I see him, which I think is quite amusing. But he can still walk up the stairs to the stage. But I'm questioning whether at I-48, if it carries on in this direction, we might need to like hoist him up there. But I joke, BlinG is an absolutely amazing fella. Now, let's talk a little bit about strategy. Well, so far, the double gas and a gateway. And for those of you who observe, may notice this is against the Zerg player, and may be thinking, hang on, why is there no pylon? Well, there's lots of different reasons BlinG could be doing this. He could be going for some early aggression. He could just be going for a lot of gas early on. He could be basically 2 gas, just as I'm teching a lot. He does only have 2 drones in each gas though. As a result, that just really says that, hey, not committing to three gas each. It's slightly faster mining than having 3 drones in 1 gas. So yeah, it's fairly normal build. I reckon we should see a fairly quick expansion. BlinG just wanting to be a bit safer for the time being. The Overlord coming in, obviously seeing that there's no Nexus down, that's gonna really scare him quite a bit. If I was a Zerg player in this situation, I'd be like, oh dear. We've got a Protoss rather, who is not fast expanding against me. Does that mean he's just going to come and kill me, or is it just a safer expand? We'll wait and see. Obviously, the Zealot out way quicker than would usually be. We've got the 4 Zerglings here. Of course, they're going to come around and just check for pylons, because the big concern is, what if there's a proxy pylon down somewhere? What if I'm about to die to 2-gate pressure? Because the other thing, of course, that wasn't seen was anything here. So there's no wall off, which says it could be a proxy 2-gate or something, which can be very annoying. Now, in terms of strategy, Spinecrawler coming down. This is all Blackcidy covering for the fact that he thinks this could be a proxy 2-gate, covering for the fact that he may just die soon. But obviously BlinG, he's expanding behind this, but the Overlord does not have vision of that. That is of course going to be really frustrating and going to cause Blackcidy to panic slightly. He's taking the gas way earlier than he may have liked to. He's got the Stalker at his front door. He's already producing, well, he's not actually producing anything, he's just coming to poke and prod up here. He's really just taking a look at this, saying, hey, there's a Nexus coming down, the Spinecrawler coming down, the Queens are coming to try and fend off this Zealot Stalker pressure. But if a Queen goes down, that'll be an absolutely massive loss at this stage of the game. The Spinecrawler is burrowing, 1 Queen is going to go down, but it's get replaced by another one, so it's not too much of a loss because the injects will still be there. But both this Zealot and Stalker almost certainly going to get lost. And is the Stalker going to make it out? It's going to be pretty damn close, 3 HP, and it will get away. That is one lucky Stalker right now. Meanwhile though, a Sentry going down at BlinG's main. He's pulling an awful lot of probes to try and save that Sentry, because of course that is a lot of resources at this stage of the game, especially a lot of gas. You need those force fields ready to wall off the ramp. The robotic facility was obviously seen. Everything now been seen that needs to be seen, apart from the 2 gas. That was the only thing that wasn't really spotted, which are now both up to 3 probes in each. Now, obviously BlinG's pulled back quite happily. He's getting the pylon down. Blackcity's going to be quite confident that this isn't an all-in now, because obviously he's seen the expansion and robo. So it's just gone back to droning. Already up to 28 probes to 31 drones. I had to think about that. I don't know why I had a brain freeze, but anyway, third and fourth gas, second and third gas coming down. The fourth gas cancelled. So really, Blackcidy is droning heavily. He needs to take his third base relatively soon, though. Of course, if it was a fast expansion, we'd be seeing it about 4 minutes, 4 minutes 20. But because BlinG delayed his own expansion by going for a 1-gate expo, he can take this a bit later, but he can't leave it too late. That's the important thing, because at the moment the work count is still a bit closer than he may like. 2 more gateways being added on. That takes him up to 3 gates with the Immortal out. A second Immortal on the way. Is this going to be some Immortal Sentry action? It could very well. Now a 4th gateway added in. The 2 Immortals are there. We've got Observer coming out. This is very, very much looking like some Immortal Sentry pressure, and well, it can go very, very badly wrong for Blackcidy if he's not careful. He's getting up a macro hatch as well as the evolution chamber, double Evo rather. This is a really interesting hatchery placement actually. It creates a nice little wall off there, narrows down that attack path, which to be honest means that sentries and force fields are going to be very, very strong indeed. Now here obviously it's scouted, lots of spine callers getting thrown down. Blackcidy clearly panicking a little bit that this is an immortal sentry all in. In terms of what's coming up behind it, well, there's a couple more warp waves just finishing up. Obviously BlinG is going to wait for those reinforcements. The pylon nearly down. That's going to give time for these additional spine callers to get thrown into position. It's going to be tough pushing through this, but of course the 2 Immortals do deal an awful lot of damage. 16 Zerglings coming down though, that's going to help. Speed I don't believe is done. No, it is done, sorry. I must have completely missed that while I was talking about BlinG's lovely skinny jeans and hair. But well, in come these Immortals, in come the sentries. That macro hatch taking quite a lot of fire right now. We've got the infestation pit on its way as well, and the macro hatch is definitely going to get sacrificed because basically Blackcidy can't push through yet. He needs quite a few more units. He sees the Observer there obviously, but BlinG, he's done a good bit of damage there on its own. He nearly actually manages to get that Overseer, which would have been a nice little kill because it would have supply blocked Blackcidy obviously. BlinG now pushing forward. He needs to be careful of these spine callers though, and there are an awful lot of spine callers. He's going to be able to pick off an evolution chamber. Obviously not researching anything, but still better than nothing. Using force woods to prevent the broodlings doing any more damage. More warpins on their way through. Behind this, BlinG isn't really doing much. Obviously a little of a pause there or something. Completely crazy chat burst all of a sudden. That's always fun when you get that, when you're casting from a replay. But well, these spine callers, very, very defensive. And of course, BlinG not only took out 300 resources worth of hatchery, he's also forced what is 6 spine callers. That's 600 minerals plus an extra 300 in drones. That is pretty high. That is a high cost indeed. So that is some good damage done by BlinG, and if we look at the resources lost, well, that doesn't really tell the entire picture. There should be quite a bit more, but the Zerglings are coming in. Needs to be very careful there. BlinG just happily trying to pick this off. 1 more Zergling, 2 more Zerglings on their way out, and of course that egg won't go down. But, well, BlinG happily putting up some force fields, and I really like this. This is a really clever decision. Put down the force fields. It gives you time for your army to retreat. These 2 pylons are probably forfeit, though. They'll get taken out fairly soon. But for the most part, BlinG should be comfortable with where he is. He's really keeping in terms of the worker count. He's keeping very far ahead in terms of the tech count. I mean, Infestor's only just in production now for Blackcidy. And of course, the 3rd base only just started as well, which has now been started by BlinG, who is going to go and take his own 3rd. So that is everything that he wants. The robotics bay coming down. He's already nearly up to Colossi tech. And he doesn't really have too much to worry about. I mean, upgrade-wise, as you can see, we've only got the +1 coming down now. Got +1 melee, +1 missile attack already finished. But for BlinG, he's got the double upgrades coming down. That means he's going to be able to pull ahead very, very quickly in terms of upgrades, unless a second evolution chamber is rebuilt. Of course, he managed to pick one off. The macro hatch rebuild in the main for Blackcidy. Looking up here for BlinG, what else is he getting down? Well, not much. Burrow about to finish up, though. That is a really interesting mechanic, because obviously Infestors now become a little harassment unit. Should Blackcidy want to do that? And I think he may. We've seen a lot of people doing that recently. Colossus in production. We have the Twilight Council on its way out as well. That's going to allow BlinG to go straight into the 2-2 upgrades. And now, of course, the Spire. The Spire, the inevitable part, 2 Broodlord Infestor, the composition that Dignitas' BlinG absolutely hates. Meanwhile, we had an Overlord over here, just spreading some creep, delaying this 3rd base. These Infestors were going forward. It'll be interesting to see what they were going to do, but moving back for the moment. And well, obviously the 3rd base up for Blackcidy. In terms of the work count, still very, very equal, and that is only good news for BlinG, who's getting a complete wall off towards his natural with some gateways. That's going to prevent any Zergling run-bys. It means he can basically keep all of his units up here to defend this area without really having to worry much else of what happens. So in terms of what else is happening, extended thermal lance on its way down. The first Colossus hitting the field. Quite a few Immortals there. Hive now coming down at about 30-minute Hive timing. That's going straight up to Broodlords. We're not going to see Ultras in this game at all. which you don't see too often anyway. Going straight to Broodlords is quite a good decision. What else have we got? Obviously 2-2 getting chrono boosted out. Upgrade wise for the Zerg, well, we have +1 melee nearly done. Still no second Evo chamber though, so Dignitas' BlinG really going to start pulling ahead. 2-2, not going to be too far away. If he keeps chrono boosting, which he is, that's going to help him massively. Good timing there, getting the chrono boost as soon as the previous one finished up. In terms of the worker count, 63 to 69. But what's this? Hidden expansion, but BlinG sees it. BlinG does indeed know what's going down here. He drops down that pylon, of course. There is none at all in terms of detection up here. No way that the lovely Blackcidy will be able to see the cannons come down, unless of course he runs those Zerglings in, which he very well may, but of course sees there's not much happening. Down here, obviously, the watchtower's being controlled at the moment by the Zerg player, who's got great map awareness with Zerglings area. Burrowed Zergling here as well. That is a good little choice. Looking down, great massive spine crawler walls. And it's a good time to start doing the spine crawlers walls. The greatest spire just starting up now, in a bit of a vulnerable position potentially, because a drop could come down, a warping could come down here, which could do some damage. Obviously, it's not shielded by any more buildings, but again, it's a risk that I would be willing to take in this situation. If it was against Terran, I'd say that was a terrible position to place it, but of course BlinG, he's going to be more aiming towards getting up that death ball, as opposed to going for war prism harassment. Now, what else have we got happening? Well, these Zerglings just chilling here. BlinG with that single pylon there is going to be able to warp in fairly soon, but all the Zerglings are here to protect this. +1 done, +2 melee attack on its way, but of course 2-2 already finished for BlinG. He's already started on his 3-3, kind of boosting out more Colossi. He's already up to 2, so the third one about to pop out. He's got BlinG on the way down, more gateways coming down, so he's going to be able to remax very, very quickly. And for the moment, these two being very, very passive after the initial aggression, but of course this warp in of Zealots has been spotted. Will it be able to take out the hatchery? The answer is no. That hatchery on incredibly low health. And that must have been a misclick. That must have been a misclick. That is bad times. That is bad times for Blackcidy right there. He killed his own hatchery off. And that is just good times for BlinG though, who's getting more gateways up. Just creating a nice little wall, trying to make sure the Zergling 1-bys won't be too effective. The Zerglings looking like they're going to try and come up here, but are not going to have any success with that. BlinG moving out across the map. And, well, the only downside is, what if his third base gets ransacked? Very well could by quite a few Zerglings who are coming up here now, trying to pick off the wall to the natural. What is BlinG going to do? He's going to keep moving forward. The first Broodlords are on their way out, 7 in production, but this third base of BlinG is taking big, big damage right now. He's got to try and hold this off because, of course, if these Zerglings get through, which they are now, they are going to kill an awful lot of probes. But meanwhile, BlinG moving forward, he is going to start taking some serious economic damage. Of course, Zerglings have managed to make their way through into the natural as well. They are going to get a lot of probe kills right now. And this is bad, bad news for BlinG. Of course, the Broodlords, if they come and stay over that high ground there, are going to be tough. And with the Spine Crawlers, with the Broodlords, BlinG is not going to be in a good position to deal with this. Blackcidy getting a great fungal growth off. BlinG doing the right thing, pulling back, but he's going to take some damage. Meanwhile, another hidden expansion down at the bottom right here. And for the moment, the Zerglings in the main have been taken out, but in terms of workers killed, 9 killed by Blackcidy. In terms of the loss tab, that is really not looking too healthy for the Red Protoss at the moment. Of course, an attempt to take down the expansion, but wait, there is a burrowed Zergling, of course, the bane of every Protoss player's life and every Terran player's life. But well, we've got more Zerglings coming in. Unfortunately, they are going to be able to get a probe kill there. Good little Zergling getting those kills. The rest of these probes, and well, the rest of the probes happily trying to rebuild this base, but the burrowed Zergling still being very, very irritating. I'm not sure where the observer is. I'm sure there's one somewhere. The rest of these Zerglings trying to loop around, come back to the third base, but BlinG in a great defensive position right now. Hasn't rebuilt his wall off yet, or no, he has actually. He's got that in there with a photon cannon, so that is good news for him. He's going to be in a great spot. The fifth base coming up, obviously the fourth base already down the bottom right with some Zerglings defending it. The fifth base there as well, so this is really looking good for Blackcidy, who's up to 11 Broodlords, slightly low on the Corrupt Cannon. Now, War Prism is on its way out. That War Prism is obviously going to be interesting times. We've got the Stargate as well up the back. That's to get the fleet beacon out, the mothership for the Vortex. Obviously, the Vortex is going to be essential to dealing with like, I mean, there's a gap in that wall. That is a slight oversight of great Ninja Warp in there, preventing those Zerglings from getting into the natural. That was very quick reactions from Mr. BlinG there. Down here, though, what else have we got? We've got Broodlords. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of Broodlords. There's also 9 Infestors out. If I was BlinG right now, I'd be very, very traumatized. But of course, BlinG is a great player. He is going to be in a fine position to keep going. He's got the Templar Archives on the way. He's got his fleet beacon on the way. He has got everything in the running, in the works for his end game. Meanwhile, though, the Observer coming over, he's going to scout the base. It's going to scout that it's here, and he's going to be like, oh, you've took another hidden expansion. Guess I'm going to have to come and kill that. Neural Parasite coming down, though, for Blackcidy. That one Stalker sacrificing himself, trying to get the watchtower. Somehow looks like, oh, he's not going to survive. For a second, that was like the Stalker's going to get away from him, like a pack of Broodlords. But here we go. The Corruptor's coming in. Oh my goodness, that is big damage. These Colossi are taking huge amounts of fire, but so are those Corruptors of BlinG Black. Just too many Broodlords there for BlinG's army to deal with immediately. But that was quite a nice trade. Obviously, picking off those Colossi is the ultimate aim here. But you don't want to lose too many Corruptors. And of course, a lot of Corruptors going down here. A lot going on very low health. As you can see, down to, well, 9 on the field, but a few more must be on their way over. There they come. So, got to be careful for the time being. Some Zerglings ready for the wraparound, but BlinG, it looks like he's in trouble. He's about, well, 20-ish supply behind, but a great forward blink, and these Broodlords are going to go down so quickly. This is able to do a lot of damage right now. Although the fungal growths are going down, the Broodlords are going down, and that is the important thing, because without support, those Infestors are just sitting ducks. The Corruptors are going to get taken out. That was a brilliant blink forward by BlinG. And while there's a lot of infested Terrans there, and while the resources lost look pretty equal, BlinG has taken out so much of his enemy's major army. No Broodlords on the field right now. The counter aggression is going to be huge. Loads of Spine Crawlers getting lobbed down here, as you see. Loads of Broodlords morphing. The Zerg player is very low on gas, so 6 Broodlords is all there is going to be. BlinG with a counter aggression, but will be forced back now. The Infestors and Zerglings are not going to be able to be dealt with very easily, because of course there are no Colossi on the field, and you do not want to be getting in fights with Stalkers against Zerglings. Upgrade wise, it's 3-3-1 against, I believe, if I can get a Zergling ever, 2-0. So no armor upgrades at the moment at all, which is possibly a slight for BlinG. Down here, he's getting rid of this base. He does not like that. But meanwhile, his own 4th base is under pressure. That Colossus does need to be careful. This bottom right base is taking huge fire. That's pretty much dead. It's not worth watching that anymore. We do see it go down. Looking up here, the Zerglings being forced to pull back a wave of Zealots. And of course, that Colossi are in a great spot. But well, the Broodlord numbers, they're slowly creeping up again, back up to 9, 11 Infestors as well. The Corruptor count, though, demolished. That is in fun times. 4 more Corruptors on their way out. Now, of course, the Fleet Beacon's out, but I don't think we have a Mothership yet. No, we don't. The Mothership just starting. That Mothership going to be oh so important. 7 more Corruptors coming down, but the Zerg Deathball is moving across the map. The Protoss, sizable army, but not Deathball, is moving back across the map, trying to retreat very urgently, get out of the danger zone. Very low on Colossi count, only 1 Colossus on the field. The War Prism is down. I'm not quite sure where that War Prism is. Has he got it hotkeyed? No. That is bad times. Let's see if we can find it. Nope, I have no clue where this War Prism is. I may be being blind. There's a pylon up here. Ah, here we go. There's the War Prism. Doing very little at the moment, though, unfortunately. In terms of the workers killed, 13-13. That is unlucky for some, but not these two, because they've both done the same. Adrenal Glands on its way down now for the Zerg player. Very critical upgrade. Makes Zerglings just so effective, especially if the Colossus count is low and you're able to get good strands. A great fungal growth on so many High Templar there. The chain fungal goes down, and well, if another fungal hits, that will be just terrible times. But Infestors are bursting from the feedbacks, and well, for the moment, we've got to be careful. We've got to be careful if we are in Blackcity's position. Don't get overconfident. Don't move too far forward. But the Colossi are falling very quickly. But the Stalkers blink under yet again. This is precisely what we saw in the last engagement, where all the Broodlords went down. But just so many Zerglings helping this. The Zealots, though, they are still going. The Stalkers try and blink back. Infested Terrans on their way down. BlinG looks to be in serious problems. The Mothership not quite out yet, but another good blink forward. He's going to be able to pick off most of these Broodlords, and they are all going to go down. Of course, Infested Terrans are there, though. The Zerglings are cleaning up pretty much everything else. Some great blink micro going on here by BlinG right now, trying to keep himself out of position. Burrowed Infestors moving forward. Infested Terrans coming down, but for the time being, it looks like BlinG is going to hold on, but his supply is not looking too happy. The important thing is, though, the Mothership is about to come out. The Mummy Ship, of course, going to be very helpful. We've got a lot of Infestors going down, though. This is a big wing now for BlinG. Just at how many Infestors he's getting. He's going to lose these Stalkers when the surround from the Zergling comes down, but that was a lot of Infestors taken down, and he should be very happy about that engagement. In terms of upgrades, still 2-0 compared to 3-3-1. BlinG with the Mothership, he's in a good spot right now. Good little bit of blink micro there, pulling them back, making sure they don't get killed by those Zerglings too easily. The Zealots, of course, going to do absolutely incredibly against Zerglings, which are 2-0 compared to 3-3-1. And, well, and again, that hidden bottom right base trying to get taken. The top right base protected by a burrowed Zergling. And also the 5th base, potentially, of BlinG protected by a burrowed Zergling. But a Zealot here preventing any 5th, oh, well, it will now be 6th base coming down for the Zerg player. So this is all okay. Over observer placement, good creep spread. Leaves a bit to be desired, but not terrible either. The Zerglings still running around trying to be useful as best they can. We do have 4 Broodlords on the field. We've got 4 more morphing in though. That'll take us to 8. The +3 ground weapons on their way down, but this War Prism on its way over. Are we going to see a kill on this hatchery? We very well may. It depends if any more Warpins come in. The 2 Zealots are picked up. Good little pick-up micro there by BlinG, making sure they do get away. But hey, what's this? More drones are on their way over. We've got Archons morphing in though. We've got a mothership. That means one thing. Vortex, Archons, Broodlords equals dead Broodlords. But hell, that doesn't matter. BlinG, he's going to pull back. He's leveled out the supply but more equally. In terms of the working count, he's ahead. That is always bad news for a Zerg player. These Zealots still being picked up and dropped down. Need to be careful as well though, not to lose those. But likewise, Blackcidy is committing an awful lot of Zerglings down to this base to make sure it stays alive, which means that his main army is going to be less strong. And, well, another way of saying less strong, of course, weaker, if I can use the right words. But anyway, we've got here a good War Prism. We've got 1 probe hiding in some minerals, or something like minerals. I'm not quite sure what they are. They're crystals, but they are unmineable. But still, who knows what they are, but it's good times. Anyway, the Observer over here sees there's a burrowed Zergling, the Probe, the Zealot, gonna go clear that out so Probe can lay down a Nexus. Meanwhile, we've got 9 Broodlords on the field, 2 more on the way. That'll take us up to 11, obviously. This War Prism still threatening, still keeping an awful lot of units down at the side here. Meanwhile, the Broodlord, Corrupt account getting higher. These 2 players are now in complete endgame death ball statuses. They've both got out all the units they'll want, and it's going to come down to one big engagement almost certainly. They both obviously want to be doing some harassment, as we're seeing BlinG do here. But one bad engagement and you're pretty much going to lose the game at this stage. You need to have great army positioning, and that is exactly what BlinG's trying to do. He's trying to get a nice, lengthy position. You need to get all these Broodlords clumped up in order to get the big Vortex down. This mothership needs to be careful not to back away too far. Also need to be careful with these High Templar, because they are very far forward. They obviously don't have Storm Research, but they are ready for a lot of feedbacks. And if you feedback full energy Infestors, guess what? They pop. And there's nothing more fun as a Protoss player than popping Infestors, I can tell you from first-hand experience. It is the greatest feeling in the world. It makes you feel like such a boss as well with that micro potential. Now, what else have we got coming down here? Well, not too much for the main part. Both players just really trying to get the ultimate composition. We've got 13 Broodlords down, 8 Corruptors. Meanwhile, a Zergling run by coming up here for BlinG. Unfortunately, no cannons down at the 4th base. It's always a good idea to get a couple of cannons. Going to lose quite a few things. Obviously, those Zerglings doing huge amounts of damage with the +3 melee attack and also Adrenal Glands. BlinG trying to get the surround. Needs to be careful. Those probes, are they going to give away that there's a base up there? Yes, they are! Oh dear, that is less fun times. The +3 flyer attack coming down, the +1 carapace coming down for the Zerg player. Meanwhile, +2 shields on the way down for BlinG, who is losing quite a few probes, unfortunately, here. He's already lost 28, 29 this game so far, which is actually pretty low. Both players losing quite a low number of units at the moment. This War Prism on its way down. Not much in the terms of defense, just the 2 Spine Callers and Queens. A warp in of 4 Zealots. Also, should be able to deal with those quite comfortably. Looking up here, though, the +2 shields, about a third done. What is this War Prism going to do? Well, we're going to get warped in. We're getting more than 4 Zealots. We're getting 6 out. That is definitely going to be able to deal with this very, very comfortably. But the 2 Zealots see it. Well, even more Zealots. This is a lot of Zealots now. That is going to be good to do. A lot of Zerglings getting pulled, but you're going to need more Zerglings than that to deal with that many Zealots, especially with the upgrade advantage. Meanwhile, though, the main Protoss army down here at the natural, they're going to push up. The Broodlord's trying to get back in time. This is going to be an absolutely huge engagement. A good fungal growth goes down, but where is the Vortex? The Vortex is a threat. Don't want a Vortex up here because obviously the Archons are not going to be able to get up. You need these Broodlords over this area where you can comfortably get the Vortex down, trap all of them, and of course then get your own Archons into position. But BlinG, he is still sitting there very, very nearly equal workers. He is in a good spot. He has got so many Zealots right now down here. Of course, these Zealots cleaning up all the Spine Callers. So many Spine Callers on their way down. Meanwhile, though, BlinG focusing on his main army, trying to make sure that he's not going to lose it in a bad engagement. Of course, that Broodlord Infestor army creeping across the map. This base definitely dead now. That is good. There goes the Vortex. How many Broodlords are going to get trapped in there? Well, not too many, but of course, more Vortex are on their way down. Are we going to see many more? A great BlinG forward. The Archons are, well, sweeping into that Vortex at the moment. Infested Terrans on their way down as well. This is going to be pretty hectic. We hear feedbacks going down. So many popping Infestors. And, well, the Archons are trying to pick off the Broodlords. Not as many Archons in that Vortex as you may like. A good fungal growth coming down. But still, BlinG has got so much of an army underneath this. But it looks like Blackcidy is still going to be able to dominate. Pulling back the Archons. The Broodlord count still scarily high, up at 10. BlinG unable to do quite as much damage he would have liked to, but so many Corruptors taking huge amounts of splash damage there. Those Archons really going to pay for themselves if they can just get a couple of good hits off on a couple of group up Broodlords. Of course, the Mothership has been taken down, not another one in production quite yet, but well, the 4th base for BlinG is going to get taken down. Of course, the 5th base is known to be down there already by Blackcidy. He did scout it earlier. Losing the 4th base is going to be a bit of a problem. We had a little warp in there, but here comes another great forward BlinG. Unfortunately, some Infestors do get some good fungal growths down, but with all the Zealots tanking up some damage, the Infested Terrans are going to be the threat, but BlinG choosing to move forward, he is going to be able to pick off nearly all of those Broodlords now, and of course that was absolutely fantastic for him. He doesn't seem to have an observer in the area though, so he's not going to be able to pick off those Infestors quite yet, but well, BlinG being able to get that does actually mean the Zerg players lost quite a lot more resources this game so far. In terms of the worker count, 54 to 56, obviously the lack of a base down here is going to really start hurting the Zerg, who's mined out pretty much all of his other bases. BlinG has this lifeline. His 4th base was up until very, very recently. That is ever so helpful, but a Zergling one by coming through, and this is good play by Blackcidy, trying to keep his Protoss opponent pinned back. So many High Templar there, potentially free, and well, you do not want to be losing those. The Archons are morphing, trying to make sure they stay up. The rest of the Protoss army on its way back. You do not want to be losing that many High Templar for nothing. 1 goes down. Are we going to see more go down? 2 goes down. That has got to hurt if you're in BlinG's position. Long range mining on its way down. Meanwhile, BlinG does have this top left base. This is possibly game deciding. Storm being researched as well. +3 Protoss shields are the only thing left to be researched for Dignitas' BlinG right now. He also doesn't have another Mothership in production quite yet, but both players really struggling on money, especially gas for the Zerg player. The Zerg player has 6 Broodlords out and can't really afford to get any more. He's getting 2 more Infestors. Infestor count, of course, up at 14, quite high. Something we may not be seeing in the future, especially after the patch changes, with, of course, Infested Terrans. Eggs having lower health, meaning Storm is going to start playing such a huge role in this matchup if your opponent goes Infestor heavy. And, well, BlinG, he's moving forward. Is he going to go for the engagement? If he can get a good forward BlinG, as he's done previously, and is able to engage those Broodlords cost effectively, pick them off quickly, well, he's going to be in an okay point. Needs to be careful, though. Does not want to be engaging over a cliff if he can help it. But what's this? We've got drones moving up. I'm not quite sure where those drones are going, but they are going somewhere nonetheless. They know where they're going, and that is good for the drones. Meanwhile, though, Blackcidy, it looks like he's going for one final push. Both of these players are completely broke right now. They are very, very low on money, all of them are. So Infested Terrans getting knocked down, just going to try and soak up some damage as best they can, allow the units to auto-attack them as opposed to the Broodlings trying to soak up a bit more damage. But as you can see, 2 Archons getting caught up there. That is not fun times. A High Templar as well going down, and well, BlinG is slightly ahead in terms of the supply count. He's got good Archon numbers, but boy oh boy does he need to take out those Broodlords. For the moment, his 4th base getting sieged yet again, going to be forced to cancel that. Almost certainly he does get the cancel off. I was going to say he can't afford not to do that with only 500 minerals in the bank, but his 3rd mined out completely. The Broodlord Infestor army moving forward. What is BlinG going to do? Is he going to be able to get the good position? More Stalkers warping in, some Infested Terrans going down. It's almost as if BlinG is waiting for more of those Infestors to waste their energy. He knows that his opponent is really down to pretty much nothing right now, and well, this is where all the action is happening for the time being. We're looking at these Infestors coming in. Where is BlinG going? Where is he going to go? He's going around the back. He's got to go for this as best he can. He needs the good angle, but the Broodlords are stalking him. Some Infestors popping so good with the feedbacks there. That is exactly what BlinG needs right now. He's pulling back more. He's trying to get into a more safe position. He wants the good engagement. He needs those Broodlords over ground rather, as opposed to a cliff, so he can BlinG forward to pick them off. Some more feedbacks going down. I heard some storms hitting, and well, great fungal growths, but there's the BlinG forward. That is exactly what BlinG needed right now. He is going to be able to start taking down these Broodlords one at a time. They are going down. A transfuse tries to hit, a good transfuse there, but transfusing ASAP. It looks like BlinG is going to be able to finish it off, and that of course is the last Broodlord. The Archons and a handful of Stalkers should be able to finish off this army, and there is the game from Blackcidy, who of course was completely broke. So that was game 4. No, it wasn't. That was game 3. We're about to go to game 4 of, obviously, the day of BlinG, day 3 of Dignitas week, so I'll see you there. Before you go, though, it'd be awesome if you could subscribe, like the video, and leave a cool comment, and also open the interview in the description in a tab below. And I will see you at game 4 any second.